What's up guys, my name is Your Heroes and welcome back to more Call to Arms Gates of Hell news updates. Now, I know I've been slacking on the videos lately and I don't have any excuses for it, so I'm sorry, I'm going to get it straight out that I have been slacking and I am very sorry. I'm just caught up with a lot of things, so don't worry. More updates, more videos will be coming to the channel very soon, and I'll keep my schedule going to 3 to 2 days every week and all that. So anyways, we are here with the other part of the update, which was the Gates of Hell update phase 2 update 2. Now I've decided that I said that I would do the updates 1 and 2, but I thought that because update 1 is actually so far back that I thought you guys might have already read it and you guys already caught up with it, and considering that this is the new update, this is the latest one, I thought I just might skip it because I might have thought all of you might have read the first update and know all about it. So I'm sorry, but I'm just going to concentrate on the phase 2 update 2 instead of the update 1. So I'm sorry if you were looking for me to cover update 1 of phase 2, but I just think that because this is more recent, it makes a lot more sense. In our last video of this, we covered the multiplayer section, which if you haven't seen it, then I will link it in the description down below. But we are now going to cover the Conquest and also the map section. I will cover the general in another section because, as you can see, this is going to take a separate video. It's a lot longer, so I'm just going to be covering the Conquest mode and the map update. So without further ado guys, I hope you do enjoy it and let's get started. So first is that we're going to start off with the Conquest, which they've only done at 4 little points to the updates, which they've done the fixed numeral crashes on co-op. Now this is interesting because I actually have had a couple of issues with this. Me and Wolf, as you know, have actually tried to do it, and either my game crashed or his game crashed as well on co-op. So I'm glad they kind of fix this, and this is actually a thing that has like occurrence or keeps reoccurring even in Call to Arms as well. So I'm kind of glad they're bringing their attention to this, and I wish they would do it to Call to Arms as well. So if you're developers watching this, maybe you could do that for the Call to Arms as well to make it more enjoyable and fun to do co-op, which is really fun. Next, they fix tanks spawning on fire or other mishaps. That's interesting. I've actually never seen that before. So apparently you guys the community have said that the tanks have been spawning on fire or other mishaps. The only things that I can really say is that there's one time where a tank did spawn upside down on its, on the turret and not on the tracks, which is a mishap, which is quite weird. But I've never seen a tank spawning on fire. That's quite interesting to see. So that's the only thing on my perspective that I've seen, that a tank has occasionally spawned upside down, or tanks would spawn in each other, if that makes sense. So when the tanks spawn in each other, I know there's like a ghost kind of thing for about 3 seconds where the tanks are invincible, but after that, when the tanks are still merged, they kind of freak out and then they just fly across the map. So I don't know, that's the only things that I've seen in this in the spawning of the update. But if you guys seen fires, that's quite funny to see actually. I like that, but I'm glad they fixed all of that. Next, they fixed the AI issue with starting on easy difficulty. I generally don't know what the issue was with the AI issue starting with easy difficulty. The only issue that I had with it was the fact that they were slightly actually very easy. Like, they were actually too easy. Like, they would only spawn certain amounts of infantry waves. Like, they would only spawn little stuff. Like, they wouldn't bring out tanks or anything. They wouldn't bring out armored vehicles. That's the only issue that I've had with the AI. To be honest, like I said, I haven't played the Conquest much because I've been busy with work and all that. So I haven't really had much time to fully appreciate, analyze what's wrong with the easy with the AI issue on difficulty easy. So I'll definitely need to look at that. But if you guys have already played the Conquest mode and actually still have this issue, then let me know in the comments down below, because it'd be quite interesting to hear your thoughts on what this is. Okay, last but not least on the Conquest mode that they improved was the improved attacking AI to not have a CP limit. Units should attack more in groups, waves instead of trickles. Yes, that is something I did see. In my little phase of when I did play Conquest mode, that is something I definitely did see, that the units were just coming out separately, like they were coming out one by one, like I said, you know, instead of trickle. So trickle kind of means like they're coming out kind of all over the place, like they're not coming in groups or waves or anything, they're just coming out at different areas, you know, at different spawns, and they're and it's okay to attack from different spawn areas, but they're not coming in groups or waves or anything like that, which they should do. And plus, it didn't really make much sense why they did that in the first place. I think that when in real life, actually, that's anything, they'd never trickle their units out. They'd never, you know, put them out one by one, unless you were kind of going in to cover, where that means you would have to kind of spread out your units and go from there. But yeah, I'm glad they've improved the AI to not have a CP limit. CP means like the CP limit is basically the I would say center power, but no, that's not it. So the CP is basically the amount of cap that you have of how much you can spawn, I believe, or how much you can spawn out. So I'm glad there is a limit to that. So that means they don't just keep spawning and spawning units out of ultimate waves where you just get overrun. So I'm glad they do have a limit. Or no, they don't have a limit, sorry. They do not have a limit. Sorry, I read that wrong. Improved attacking AI to not have a CP limit, so they do not have a limit. Okay, that's actually interesting. I misinterpreted that. Sorry about that, guys. But that's actually quite interesting, because that's good in the fact that there's going to be more units coming out. But the problem, I have one issue with that, or not one issue. I'm quite worried about the fact that what happens if they just keep spawning units and then they just don't. Of course they'll have a limit of when to stop, but how do you know how much, you know, when they're going to stop? Or how do you know if this is a continuous just push on and then they don't ever stop bringing out a limit? That's my problem. Well, not my problem, it's a worry for the Conquest, that they just keep bringing out. I'm happy that they do have, you know, that they do keep bringing out more units, but I think there definitely should be a limit on it. Definitely just don't have a limit, because that could be quite scary for the fact that they could just keep attacking and it could never stop. The only way it could stop is that when you win in defense points or you win on attack points. That is quite worrying that they don't have a limit, but I understand why they've done it. And also, of course, the good thing was that the unit should attack more in groups, waves, instead of, yeah, as I discussed, this is common sense. This is something that should have been done from the start. I don't mean to be mean or anything, but it's very weird why they would bring it out in trickle units, why they would just bring it out separately, when it makes more sense to push together as a wave or in groups. So I'm glad they've kind of made it more realistic in that way. Okay, that's the Conquest done. I'm very happy. Overall, what my thoughts about the Conquest? My overall thoughts is that I'm very happy with these changes. The only thing I wasn't happy was that, or I'm not what I'm not happy, what I'm slightly worried about is that they have no limit, which is kind of scary. And I feel like this is something that they should take a careful look at, and they should, you know, keep a look over, you know, and just not improve it and then just leave it. This is something that I think that Call to Arms Gatesville really need to look over properly, because it could be the fact that they could become too overpowered, and the fact that they just keep spawning different units left, right, and center, and you don't know how to stop it, and there should be a limit, really. So, but you know, that's it. Overall, I'm very happy with the changes on the Conquest mode. Okay, next we're moving on to the maps, and they've only had 2 changes to the maps. It's not massively big, and the maps are various improvements to maps. I have no idea what this is. Maybe if I go into the community page, if I looked on a community page, there'll probably be a few things on changements there or improvements on the maps. but to be honest, the only thing that I would say is to have a guess is that is maybe it's like maybe the environment around it or the terrain that could be leveled up or down, or maybe the amount of trees or stuff that you know that are in the way of vehicles, or you know maybe not as much water to the map or anything like that. But these are like little things, or maybe even just improve the overall graphics of the maps. But that's all I can really think of. But if you guys, what are your thoughts of the various improvements to maps? Those are my guesses, or what they could be. Let me know what your thoughts on the improvements on the map. Next is the fixed DCP Pinsk environment setting to use summer weathers instead of spring snow. That's interesting, because I actually kind of like the authentic weathers that was on the Pinsk environment, which was interesting. But I understand why they did summer, to make it more, I don't know, make it more thematic, I guess, because maybe if you're making it summer, you get a nice summer set, you get another a nice summer set, you know, or a nice sunrise when you're doing it. But that's quite interesting. But I did like the snow, because it kind of gave that nice authentic feel that you have of being like maybe in Russia or wherever it is, but might not be in Russia or wherever it is. So I don't know, but I definitely did like the snow effects to it as well, you know, that spring / snow effect. But I like the mix of spring and snow and together, you know. But I don't know, I feel like I understand why they set it to summer. But of course, it's your guys' community that it's your opinion what you thought on these maps and what they should change about it. But to be honest, I just like the authenticity. I don't know how to pronounce that word, basically, of how that you get a mix of kind of that spring snow effect, whereas summer is just plain sun, which we already kind of have in the game, and I think it is a bit boring, not gonna lie. But I guess if it's to match the environment and where the place is, it depends where like the Pinsk is it in Russia, is it in like Germany, or where is it? Like, it depends. I feel like in spring snow I could have been Russia, but now summer is giving me that different vibe that I could still be in Russia and it's like a really hot day there, but it could also maybe be in Germany, in Europe, or something like that. I don't know. But to be honest, Germany doesn't really get that good weather compared to, you know, like Spain or anything like that. Guys, that is the maps and Conquest updates covered. What did you guys think of these updates? Was there anything you'd like to see? Anything more you'd like to add about these updates? Do you think there should be more updates on the Conquest, or more improvements to the maps? Do you think maybe, you know, there should have been different types of weathers? You know, maybe there should be like an effect where if it's like a spring or snow, your men need like winter clothing, and your men can actually get affected by the weather, which would be quite a cool effect. But I don't know if Call to Arms would do that or not. I think overall this is a very good start. This is a very good start to what could see a very good promising future to Gates of Hell. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe. And other than that, thank you so much for watching and all your support, and I will see you in the next video. See you later, and goodbye.